Greetings, welcome to Tifa's Tarot, and on this video we are going to continue our journey through the tarot, and we are starting today with card number 9, which is the Hermit card. So first let's talk about nines in the tarot. So nines are really associated with being resilient, having some solitude, and also there's a fair amount of independence that's also with this card. So say, for example, this is a major arcana, right, with the 9. In our minor arcana, which we will discuss in later videos, nines are associated with something that has to do with our personal independence in a way. So for example, the 9 of Pentacles would be associated with having, being independent financially or materially in some way. The 9 of Swords would be having anxiety or nightmares that are caused by your own thoughts or feelings. The 9 of Cups is being quite satisfied with yourself on an emotional level. And let's say the 9 of Wands would be kind of enduring the end of a battle or a project that's coming and needing that strength to kind of go to the next level, okay? So when we get to the 9 here in the major arcana with the Hermit, you can kind of see there's a little bit of that 9 number theme in here. So there's a bit of a solitary energy associated with it, as well as a fair amount of independence or inner wisdom that's also associated with it. So what I'll do in this video, we're going to talk about the Hermit card that in the upright position and what it means as if we're referring to a person, or what it means if you're talking about a love situation, or if you're talking about career and finance. And then finally, if we're talking about spiritual pursuits, okay? But first, let's take a look at some of the symbols in this card. So we've got the mountains. Mountains are a common theme in a lot of the tarot imagery, and mountains kind of represent a few things, right? Mountains can represent some type of challenge, right? Especially if they are in the distance. It's meant an upcoming challenge. Here we have a mountain. We have this gentleman. He's at the top of the mountain. So this really refers to mountains that are kind of sometimes associated with places that spiritual people go for retreat to kind of get away from the world, or to develop some type of like self-introspection, right? But mountains are also seen as an obstacle in a way, and being that he is at the top of the mountain, right, we can kind of guess from the scene that he's been on a journey to where he's been, right? And now he's at the top, but it's like he's still going though, right? So we also see the lantern. A lantern is a symbol of really searching for the truth, right, in the midst of the darkness. And even inside of the lantern, right, we see the 6-pointed star, right, that's held in his right hand. And that represents the seal of Solomon, right? And there's a lot of biblical references, especially in the Rider-Waite deck. And that really just illuminates this hermit's path, right? It's like knowledge is gained by one step at a time, right? In his left hand, he is holding a staff, all right? And staffs are attributed with harnessing power in some way. And your left hand is really a symbol of your higher self in that way, whereas in your right hand is grounded to the earthly plane. Your left hand is a symbol of achieving higher awareness through your subconscious in that way. Let's see, we can also see just through the character himself, like he is cloaked almost in a monk-like suit. We can assume that he is a very wise man. As you can see, he's an older gentleman as well. So maturity is meant to signify like his wisdom, right? I wish that were true in real life, but essentially that is the idea, right? As we age, we become wiser, and we require less noise from the outside, right, to get into our lives, right? So let's say, let's also talk about zodiologically what the Hermit represents. So the type of energy that the Hermit is represented by the sign of Virgo. And let's say Virgos are ruled by the planet Mercury, right? And so Virgos express themselves, Mercury, as we know, is a communicative planet. And so the communication style of a Virgo is when it's positively aspected. So remember, this is when it's upright. We are talking about a card in the positive aspect of it. So Virgos are known for having good self-care, good health practices, being health conscious in a way. Um, and let's say like the hermit's ability to go within is really a great symbol for Virgo's positive aspect for like great mental health in that sense as well. So the type of energy that is also related to the hermit is about getting away from like this fast-paced world, right? And really connecting with the inner world, right? It's talking about a time to really establish how our life is going, what directions that we're going, what deliberate actions that we want to take, right? And the only way that we can do that is really by quieting out the noise that's around us and really listening internally. So we can only do that when we have this hermit-like energy, right? It leads us to listening to our intuition, and it leads to a higher understanding of self. So if this is referring to a person, it would indicate a person who is, first of all, probably mature, is very wise, has learned many things throughout their years, has grown to be comfortable and enjoy their solitude. Someone who is in a hermit who comes up in this energy is also like a truth seeker. They are interested in knowledge. They think carefully and deeply about not just their own life, but the world around them and what their connection is to that world. This person is very enlightened and possesses a lot of knowledge that is good for themselves, but also good for helping other people as well. This person is probably also very pragmatic, maybe quiet, and doesn't really have a lot of need to impress other people, right? So that's what it kind of means if it's referring to a person. So let's say you're doing a reading and you are asking about love, okay? So if this comes up on the love card and you're single, this could signify a bout of kind of celibacy. This means that you've been isolated for a long time and you have healed or recently healed, or you are healing from past heartbreaks. This can be a positive sign that you have kind of done the work to learn from your past and that you're really ready to kind of go out there and start being on the scene again in that way, right? So if it comes out when you're single. If this comes out and you're in a relationship, it's not really a great sign, I don't think, because it could really indicate that you and your partner are kind of withdrawing from the connection, and maybe you guys are living two so totally separate lives and you're not really in sync with each other anymore, and that this could be a sign that you maybe need to make efforts to reignite the spark to get things going again on your relationship, and it could mean that you guys are just not spending enough quality time together. And lastly, about the relationship, this could also talk about being in a relationship with someone who is older and wiser than you. So that is what it means in a love situation. So let's say if you're asking about a career matter, if you're asking about career and finances, let's say if you're talking about a job or career path that you're choosing, this could show that you have a lot of dedication and willpower to commit to your job long term. It can also show that you are looking inwards to see how you personally identify with the project, objective, or goal of the job that you're doing. And it can also identify working in isolation, or maybe this could be like working alone, not working in teams at all. This could show that you probably have a lot of independence at the job, right? And that there's a lot of self-direction for you. Let's see, if you are talking about financially, this could mean that you are being asked to be mature about how you deal with your finances and thinking about the long-term sustainability of your money, right? If you are talking about a spiritual matter, and the Hermit puts up, this is a great card if you're asking about spiritual practices. And it kind of shows that you are really connecting with whatever practice that you're doing, and you're gaining a lot of knowledge that's really helping you connect to your inner higher self. And this is also can be a warning, though, to make sure that you are not seeking too much solitude in your practice, and to make sure to stay balanced in the material world as well. Okay. So, however, whatever you're doing, if you get this card in a spiritual reading, it means that you are really evolving spiritually and you're really being encouraged to continue on with your journey with self-discovery in that way. So that is the Hermit card. Just to recap, it is has Virgo energy. It's meant to talk about really connecting to yourself on the inside, gaining knowledge, gaining perspective, stepping back from the world to get your grounds corrected. And yeah, so that is the Hermit card that is in the upright position. Of course, not necessarily the meaning can change, but the complexity of what the message could alter depending on cards that clarify it, right? And we can talk a little bit later about, I'll make some other videos about combinations of cards and what they kind of mean together and how to put those combinations to a story, right? To fit a story that you are trying to get information about. So that is the Hermit card in the upright position. I certainly hope that was helpful to anyone who was watching this, and I hope you have a good day.